Everyone. Today we're going to talk about notifications. So the reason why we're going to have a conversation around this in this particular session, which is session 2 of our series, is because everybody who comes in contact with the child protection system is because there's been a notification or a series of notifications. Now, we need to have a conversation about this because we need to understand how notifications work. The simple reality is that a person can make a notification about another person without that notification being analysed, discredited if need be. It doesn't matter. There's no investigation into notifications. And the reason why this is important to understand is that you, as a parent, don't have any rights whatsoever in terms of challenging where notifications come from, whether they're correct or incorrect, whether or not you have a standing in relation to those notifications, because you don't. There is nothing that you can do about challenging those notifications. So someone might make a complaint about you to the Child Abuse Report Line or through whatever report system exists within your state, and you have to accept that as being simply a notification of which you cannot respond to. Most parents spend a lot of time saying that those notifications were by a family member, someone who didn't like them, someone who wanted to punish them, someone who wanted to see their children removed from them. It is, in my experience, a complete waste of time trying to debate whether notifications are real or not. It is even a waste of time trying to analyse where that notification came from, who made the notification and why they made the notification. The problem with notifications is that there is no way that you can find out who did it, nor is there any way that you can argue that the notification is false. So what you need to do is accept that whatever those notifications are, that they are the reason why the department has chosen to become involved in your life. Don't spend a heap of time arguing whether or not they're valid or not. The department will not care. The system is completely dysfunctional when it comes to notifications. Now, there's a number of people that have to make notifications if they're concerned about your children. So that would be professional people like social workers, psychologists, mental health workers, teachers, and police are just a few. And there are so many people that are in that category of mandated notifiers that often you won't know where they've come from. Occasionally, people will know or be told that they are going to notify the authorities because they are concerned about the bruise that your child has received when it arrives at preschool or at school. They're concerned that the child has not been fed. So there might be times when the notifier will tell you that they are going to notify the authorities. Now, if that happens, then just accept that that is going to be the notification and that you might need to mitigate against that if you know that it's going to happen by ensuring that whatever the notifier is saying, that you make sure you correct that. Don't argue about notifications, accept that they're there. One of the things that the department will do though is list a range of notifications. So they'll say to you, well, we've had 12 or 20 notifications. Now, one of the things a lot of people want to argue about is where did all of those notifications come from? The reality is that it builds a history in relation to your children. So there could be a variety of notifications that come from relatives, neighbours, people that aren't necessarily mandated to report, but amongst those notifications may also be some from professionals. The notifications from professionals are considered serious. So if you have a bank of notifications that come from other people, they probably don't matter anywhere near as much. But those that are mandated notifiers, those notifications are treated as serious. That some notifier is concerned about domestic violence, but you might have 3 or 4 notifiers notifying exactly the same issue. On that basis, the department will respond. Will the department respond if there's only one notification? Probably not, unless it is a serious notification by a professional. So if the police reported to the department, for example, that they believe that a child has been sexually abused while in your care, then that notification will rise to the top and that will have to be dealt with. Notifications are scheduled in a tier system. So the most serious notifications are at the top, they're number 1, the least serious is number 3, and those in the middle, well, who knows what they are. But the department will make a decision based on the degree of notifications and the types of notifications made. Now we know that the departments usually, particularly in our state in Adelaide, or South Australia, are overwhelmed with the number of potential cases that they could be dealing with. They will sit down on a Monday morning, for example, and they'll have a discussion around the number of notifications that have come in, and they'll work out whether or not which ones sit at the top of that list and which ones therefore need to be dealt with. Also remember that if you've had an experience with the department previously, that will automatically rise you to the top of that list, I would think. But they sit down and they consider all of the notifications, they work out what tier system they're in, and then they'll allot them to workers depending on how many workers they've got and whether the workers are available to be able to do that work and do the interviews and so on. Now, of 20 notifications they might have for or people that they might have notifications for, they will only do about 3 or 4. So my point is that if you've been pulled before the child protection system and they've told you about the notifications, I can assure you there's a lot of other people that haven't, that have slipped through. But on the other hand, you're the one that they consider is the most important of their list, and you're the one that they're going to start to target and to make sure that you're doing what they think are the right things in order to have your children returned to you, hopefully. So that's all I wanted to say about notifications. Just remember though that you should not argue about notifications, you should not debate who made those notifications. It's all irrelevant. Just address the issues that are raised and work to get your children returned back to you if they're taken from you.